settling everything in. Let's just take a couple nice deep breaths. Exhale, relaxing everything down into the floor. Again, big inhale. And exhaling. Good. Keeping your low back in neutral. Let's take an inhale, exhale, pull that belly in around your spine. Starting to warm up those abdominals a little bit. Holding through the inhale, so keep belly engaged as you breathe into your rib cage. And then exhale, drawing that belly in. Hold here, one more breath, inhaling. And then on the exhale, go ahead, float one leg up and then the other. Let's do our knee push. So toes pull back towards you, hands front to your thighs. Start to press your hands into your legs. Don't let your legs move. Just breathing, starting to really feel into that corset, wrapping all the way around you, starting to feel that stability, wraps all the way around into your low back. We're definitely waking up our arms, but try to keep the tension out of your neck. Maybe you take your head side to side. A couple more breaths. Good, one more breath here. And then you're just gonna relax, but don't move from this position. And then you're just gonna go right into our crisscrossed hands. And I like to pull my knees a little closer in towards my chest. So crisscross your hands and then again, just start to push, holding here. Toes are pulling back. Make sure that your legs are in neutral, your hips, right? So you're not internally or externally rotated. Your legs are like they're on railroad tracks. Shoulders down away from your ears. Couple more breaths. Last breath. Good. Relaxing everything for a second, maybe circling those hips around. We're going to go into our toe taps. So hands are down by your side. Belly pulls in, float one leg up and then the other. Toes gently pointed. You're going to start to tap one toe to the floor, then the other. Breathing, working into some more dynamic stability, right? Those knee pushes are isometric, where we're staying still. Now we're progressing into some dynamic stabilization. Trying to keep your spine totally stable. Neck and shoulders relaxed. Couple more. Good. Pause, tabletop. Flex your feet. Tap one heel to the floor, then the other. Control this. So see if you can't really softly tap that heel. Breathing. Two more. Beautiful. Rest for a second. Feet come back to the floor. You're going to find that block. We're going to go into our bridges. So go ahead and place that block in between your knees or whatever you're using to squeeze. You could use your foam roller, you could use a ball. As long as your knees are pretty well in line with your hips, and then your feet are in line with those. So hips, knees, ankles, all in a line. Hands come down by your side. I want you to imagine that you've got sandbags on the fronts of your shoulders. So your shoulders stay nice and open and heavy and relaxed. We'll keep coming back to that. I want you to stay out of your neck and shoulders. We're going to try to isolate this to our lower body. So take an inhale, exhale, start to squeeze inner thighs. Just squeezing that whole center line. Maybe you're a little engaged in those arches, just lifting up away from the floor a little bit. Keeping that squeeze, take an inhale, exhale, press your low back down towards the floor and then lift up into that bridge. So holding up here, I want you to just mentally check in. Neck and shoulders are relaxed. You've got those sandbags on the fronts of your shoulders. They're heavy. Belly's gently engaged. Pubic bone pulling towards your rib cage. Knees squeezing that block. Feet grounded. Good. Inhale, exhale. Dropping your sternum, lengthening your tailbone away as you roll down. Good. Big inhale to bottom, exhale. Belly pulls in, pressing back up. Back of your neck long, shoulders heavy, belly's pulled in, pubic bone pulling towards your rib cage. Let's just keep your pelvis nice and stable here. You're going to pulse those knees together, squeezing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding there. Lift your pelvis up 1 inch higher. Hold here. Squeezing in our thighs. Shoulders heavy. Inhale, exhale, rolling down. Lengthening that tailbone. Good. Again, inhale, exhale, squeezing in our thighs, pressing up. Back of your neck is long. Shoulders are heavy, belly's pulled in. Let's pulse those knees together for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here, keep squeezing your knees, lift that pelvis 1 inch higher. Squeezing those glutes. Lovely. Inhaling, exhale, rolling down. We have 2 more sets here. Inhale, exhale, squeezing inner thighs, pressing up. Back of your neck is long. Pubic bone pulls towards your rib cage. Here we go. Pulse your knees together for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold the squeeze. Lift the pelvis 1 inch higher. Inhale, exhale, rolling down. Last set here. Inhaling, exhale, pressing back up. And neck nice and relaxed, shoulders heavy. It's just a great way to be able to try to work on this separation of when your neck and shoulders gets involved. Here we go. Pulse those knees together for 4, 3, 2. Hold the squeeze. Lift the pelvis 1 inch higher. Inhale, exhale, rolling down. Lovely. You're going to take the block out, but then come back into that bridge position. We've got one more thing here. So you're in that same alignment. You've got hips, knees, and ankles all in a line, but this time just nothing in between your knees. We're going to press up into this bridge. We're going to do some little rotations. So slow and controlled. I want you to let that right hip drop towards the floor. Doesn't have to go all the way. And then you're going to push into that right foot. Squeeze your right glute to push that hip back up. And then you're going to let the left side dip down. And then press into your left foot. Squeeze your left glute to lift. Again, lower the right. Push into that right foot. Squeeze your right glute to lift. Lower the left. Press into that left glute. Squeeze. And lower the right side. Push, activate that right glute. Squeeze. Lower the left. Belly stays gently engaged this whole time. Squeeze the left. We've got one more each side. Lower the right. Push, squeeze the right glute. Lower the left. Push and squeeze. Hold up here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Lowering down. Let's go into our hamstring stretch. Go ahead, interlace your hands behind that right leg. Take your right leg up towards the ceiling. You can keep this left leg bent, or you can straighten it out long, whatever's more comfortable. Pointing and flexing this right ankle, maybe circling it around one direction than the other. I sometimes feel like I want to take my head side to side when I'm doing this stretch. Maybe you just work through some of that motion. You can internally rotate this right leg from the hip slightly, and then just come across your body just a little bit. Doesn't take much to change the stretch through that whole outer leg. Maybe you do a little bit more pointing and flexing of that ankle while you're over here. Couple more breaths. Good, and then let's switch sides. Go ahead, grab behind that left. And if your hamstrings are tighter, you probably want to keep that right knee bent, but if you have a little bit more room, you can straighten it out. Again, pointing and flexing your ankle, maybe you circle it around each direction. Check in with your neck. Maybe you take that head side to side gently. Some nice breaths. Maybe you internally rotate that hip a little bit and then come across your body slightly. It's a little bit more of that outer hip stretching. Pointing, flexing that ankle. Let's take one more nice deep breath. Lovely. Maybe circling those hips for a second, and then you're going to work your way over onto all fours. So coming into that all fours position, hands underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips. Let's just go through a couple cat-cows to kind of loosen things up in our spine. So take a big inhale, exhale, belly pulls in. You're going to press everything up towards the ceiling, rounding through your spine. Big inhale here, exhale, reversing it. Letting everything open. So just let yourself go through this a few more times at your own pace. You can add some side bending, some rotation. Just really letting yourself feel into your range of motion that you have right now, where things need to stretch and move. Thinking about every vertebra of your spine, trying to move in every section. Good, last breath. And then you're gonna settle in neutral. So you stay lifted, pressing up away from the floor. So think about pushing into your hands, your sternum is lifting, you're looking down towards the floor, chin gently tucked. I want you to imagine those walls on the outside of either hip. Don't let your hips shift side to side. You're gonna take that left leg straight out, up off the floor. Opposite arm goes out. So just holding here. See how still you can be in this statue position. Pressing away from the floor. Think of pushing down into that left hand, that sternum lifted. Left glute squeezing. You've got support through that low back on the left side, so don't let that sink down. Holding for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering down. Back into neutral. If this ever bothers your wrists, you can roll up your mat in the front and kind of put your hand on the end of it so you're not in as much extension. Can be a nice bit of padding for your hands. Okay, pressing up away from the floor in that neutral position. Don't let those hips go side to side. You're going to take that right leg straight out. Opposite arm goes out. Belly's pulled in. You've got your deep neck flexors engaged a little bit, right? So that means you're looking down towards the floor, your chin gently tucked. You're not letting that chin jut out. Pressing into that right hand, keep that sternum lifted. Right glute engaged. Holding here. Breathing. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Come back down. Just sit back in child's pose for a sec. Stretching out or just getting off your wrists and shoulders. You can roll your wrists around. We're going to roll out our glutes. So remember, the roller is like the kind of the superficial pass, first pass, right? Or if you don't have time, you know, to go in deep with the ball, maybe you're just doing the roller, which is fine. It's a good first assessment. Maybe you don't even need to do the ball, but we're going to start with this. So you're going to sit on the roller, hands behind you on the floor. You're going to lean both knees. So my feet are bent, or my knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. You're going to lean both legs off to the left, and then slowly just start to roll out that left glute. And so we're just kind of going front to back, side to side, canvassing that whole glute. So you can be in this position with your legs down. You can also do a figure 4 stretch in this position, right? So you can cross that left ankle over your right knee, stay rolling on that left side. We're just putting that piriformis on stretch a little bit. Some days I feel way more when I do this. Some days I feel like I need to keep my leg down and just breathe. A couple more breaths on this side. And it's kind of nice to just open up this tissue a little bit before we get in there deeper with the ball. Good. And then go ahead, switch sides. So just shift your weight, shift those knees off to the right. Start rolling that right glute. Again, front to back, side to side. So maybe you check in. Different parts. Maybe you do that figure 4 stretch. Cross that right ankle over your left knee. Again, sometimes that's really adds to it. Sometimes I feel like I get in there better when my leg is down. It's kind of a nice check-in. Good. So this is a nice little first pass here into these glutes. And then come on off of that roller. We're just going to open up through our upper back a little bit with our chest extension over the roller. So lean against the roller right about mid-back. Hands interlaced behind your head. Your butt stays on the ground for these first ones. We're just going to do some static extension. So keep your butt on the ground. Let yourself extend back over the roller. Just starting to open up through this upper back, through your chest. You can take those elbows in and out. Breathing. And then exhale, rounding your spine back up. Good. Lift your butt. Roll the roller a little bit higher. So you go to a different vertebra. Let yourself extend. Again, elbows in and out if that feels good. Rounding back up. One more time, maybe lift and go up higher in your back. You'll get to a point where it kind of feels like a little bit pointless. You're high enough. And then you can lift your butt and you can just roll up and down through this upper back. You can side bend a little bit, get under one shoulder blade or the other. Breathing. Again, just a quick, we're just going to kind of do an accelerated version, pass through if you're just looking to kind of release things in this upper body. Go ahead, come all the way off of it, lay on it like a pillow. And you're just going to take that head side to side like you're saying no. It's just a quick check-in with those suboccipitals, back of your neck. Breathing.